Being in your 20s in this generation is a little bit more of a doozy than anything. There's a lot of pros and cons with everything. There's a lot of growth, there's a lot of pressure in today's society, a lot of confusion, and a lot of opportunity. But at the same time, there's a lot of uncertainties in what we have for our future. And I just wanted to know, and I wanted to make this video and see if there's any kind of people out there who feels the same way. And I feel like there's a lot of people who feels the same way. I want to start off with doing the pros of being in your 20s today in this generation. Again, there's a lot of pros out there compared to being in your 20s back then. In the past, you have more freedom and more self-discovery. You have more time to discover what you want to be in, what you want to be in the future. You have more opportunities to become who you want to be or who you truly want to be in. Not everything is going to be set in stone. Of course, there's a lot more digital access for our generation. The internet provides a lot of learning, a lot of business, and a lot of information possibilities out there that it only limits us for from what we know instead of what the actual capabilities of the internet is. And in our generation, there's going to be a little bit more of a non-traditional path. People are questioning more what the traditional and what the conventional path is, because sometimes it's just not rational, sometimes it's just not logical. And whenever we go onto a different path, you are not going to be the weird one anymore because everyone goes to their different path. Then, of course, in our 20s, we are in our most mental and physical peak ever, as much as possible, anyway. And on top of that, while we're in our 20s, we have more career flexibility. We have new careers to work on, we have remote flexibility, and side hustles that we can do are more accessible these days than back then in the past. But of course, there's a lot more cons as well too. Not as much, but I want to say it's not always sunshines and rainbows on the other side and being in your 20s in this generation. Again, because we have a lot more options and we have a lot more choices, we tend to become paralyzed by choice, or we tend to have the paradox of choice in our life. Again, this is something small because, again, a lot more choices is much better for us, but at the same time, it becomes too overwhelming. And then, of course, there's social media comparison and social media pressure, constant comparison, constant scrolling through other people's feeds can cause anxiety, can cause syndrome, and can cause a lot of depression towards people who are in their 20s. And then one of the most common things that we all know about is the economic instability of what is happening right now. There's a higher cost of living for everyone. Student loans are off the roof, and sometimes people pass away with student loans underneath their name. And then, of course, job market uncertainty. There's a lot of people out there who graduate, but it takes them years just to find the job that they graduated in. And a lot of people in their 20s are experiencing a lot of delayed milestones in their life compared to people back then. We are late in owning a home or owning a house, starting a family, or feeling like an adult. We feel delayed in every aspect of our lives because we try to compare ourselves to the generation back then. And the generation back then, they became adults just right when they hit their 20s. But in our generation, even though we're in our late 20s, it kind of just seems like everything is so delayed, everything is so late, and we feel left behind. Everything is so further away for what we want to achieve. And on top of that, even though we're so connected with everything, we're so connected with other people, we see everyone's lives on just our phones and our screens, we feel more lonely. We feel more alone than never before. Friendships change. People feel isolated, and people feel more disconnected than normal. I'm in my late 20s right now, and I am feeling all the pros and cons of what it feels like being in their 20s today. Again, I don't want to complain because I know a lot of people have it harder or tougher than what I have right now. But at the same time, I am not lacking, or I'm not trying to feign ignorance of what is happening right now. But I am also not taking taking it for granted of whatever I have in my life right now. There's a lot of things in my life that worked out very well for me, and I am super grateful for that one. But there are also moments where I feel completely lost. And I guess in a way that's normal for every generations in their 20s. Again, there's a lot of pros and cons with being in your 20s, but at the same time, just keep moving forward. I know it'll get better. I know that we will all figure it out soon. If not, then we just take it one day at a time. Just keep in mind that it is okay to not have everything figured out in your 20s. I know I don't. Our 20s is not a race. It is in our generation where it's our time to explore. It's our time to know who we truly are and to do the things that we want to do in life and experiment what we want to do. Everyone's timeline is different. Don't compare yours to others or don't compare others to yours. Everyone has their own path in life. And again, be grateful for what you have and always be thankful. And as always, we have to be grateful for what we have right now. Thank you for watching.